Alright, hello and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, here at the Great Palace, and we're gonna move forward. That here is, I believe it's called the Binding Force, something like that. That was placed by that ancient king 1,000 years ago to seal up the Great Palace and protect the Triforce. The only way it will open is if all 6 of the crystals have been placed. If not, I think it just kills you instantly. It might bounce you back, but I actually think it just kills you instantly. So let's move on. The Great Palace is simultaneously extremely difficult and not that difficult, basically based on whether or not you know what you're doing and know kind of when to fight and when not to. There's a little gap in the floor right here that we're just going to jump over right at that pillar. You want to start by coming to the left here. If you go in the wrong direction, you can go a very, very long way and never really get to anything worthwhile. We're going to encounter that enemy that we saw before. Again, we'll talk about it. But there's a number of new enemy types here. Most of them are kind of just redrawn versions of enemies we've seen before, but those two are kind of brand new. So that's this guy here, this kind of phoenix bird. I always forget which one is which, but that one I think is a Fokka, F-O-K-K-A. I'm going to try to kill a couple of these guys so that they'll spawn a little less while I'm in here. They are pretty annoying to deal with, but not the worst thing that we encounter in here. That is still to come. Uh-oh, that's disappointing. That's fine. There we go. Good. That's kind of what we were hoping for. Alright, let's continue on. Now, I think let's hope we can get through this room without too much damage or danger. So that is the other kind of new type of enemy. And the red ones are not quite that bad. They're called Fokkaroos. Alright, so yeah, we're not going to bother fighting any of them. There is a little secret here that we have a chance of getting some success with. Hopefully we get lucky. So yeah, there's an invisible wall here, and then we have to cast jump to get up here. And good. They have a chance of having a one of these Fokkaroon Knights come through instead of a red potion, but we got lucky. We got the potion instead. Gonna refill our life a little bit. There is another false wall here. This does not have anything. The only thing it has is I believe a king bubble over here. Yeah. There's nothing special about them. They're the same as the other bubbles from before. They're just bigger. So it's cool to see a little more of the design. You know, the small bubbles kind of have this weird smiley face. You can see on the king bubbles that they're, supposed to have this scary looking skull inside. Again, we're going to go to, go to the right. So you go left, then right when you come out of these elevators. Oop, oh, that was poorly done. Let's do one more. Let's get this guy, and then I don't remember if, wow, that was really poorly done. I don't remember if there's another potential potion hidden in there. Alright, let's just back up. I don't know what I'm doing right now. This is one of the only times in the game, I think the only time really, where I truly cheese the game. So I'm going to stay up here on this 4th block and wait for this blue Fokkaroo to come, because they're just unbelievably annoying to fight, the way that they bounce and jump around. I truly despise trying to deal with them. But if you stay up on this 4th block and crouch down, you can hurt them and they can't hurt you. And in this one instance, I am okay with that, because I just don't want to deal with it. Alright, and so we'll just punch through here. And frankly, we're actually reasonably close to the end. Oh, what am I... I don't know why I thought the shield would block that. It's fine. We're not going to need that many lives. I just... allowing myself to get distracted. Got a little bubble flying around under here. It's an awfully silly way to die. Which also means that we may not have that much of a use for something coming up, but that's okay. We just got some bubbles to walk past and another Faka. They're not that hard to kill, it's just not really worth it. Experience is meaningless at this point. Here we have, yeah, let's do this and just try to run away from this guy. There should be a bubble that we're just gonna take a hit by. Get through here. It does not help when the bubble stays over here. Usually we can't pass them, but it's fine because we have yet another false wall that we are going to take advantage of. Hopefully this is a red potion. That's fine. We'll just kind of do this a few times. I mean, I've had it happen where I have to do this, 6 times in a row before you finally get the red potion, but, I mean, I'm not in that much of a hurry. So long as you know where you're going in the palace, it's just not that hard to get through. It's when you don't know where you're going and you follow these really long pathways before finally getting to a dead end that, the place gets more difficult. Of course, if I have to keep doing it, it's eventually going to get quite boring, but... that is fine. When you get this red potion, normally we cast a quick life spell. We're not going to do that here. We're just going to let that fill up. And there is a very specific reason for that, which we'll find out shortly. But first we're going to go this way. We're going to let this little bot commit suicide. And there's a bunch of bots on all these pillars. Just let them all jump in, or at least as many as are willing to. And over here, we get a little extra life, which is nice. Not hugely necessary at this point, but it's always good to have a little buffer. And then again, we're just going to let these guys jump. And we'll take our time, carefully jump over. No reason to be in a hurry. And now we'll find out the reason why we did not fill our life before, and that is because we can just bounce down here and find this fairy. Okay. And we'll head down, and now we went left, right, right, and now we're going to go left again. Hey, finally did that semi-decent. Alright, now, over here, we want to go 5 blocks from the end, and jump down. So, we come to the right, got an up thrust. This bot here, no reason to bother killing those, you can if you want to. We're going to go about halfway across this room, and then drop down through this crack in the floor here. And now, before... yeah, sure, why not? We don't really need to do this, but we will. Before moving on, we're gonna do this. Let's run away and not deal with this guy. We're gonna come back and do this again. Usually I get pretty good luck here. Hopefully it doesn't get messed up. And we are gonna need to have our magic refilled before we advance forward into this boss here. Oh, come on. Alright. Let's hope the luck is actually with us on this one. Ow. Never had this kind of bad luck for this guy before. So the boss we are going to be fighting in a second is Thunderbird. Thunderbird is a very interesting boss, and as far as I know, there's nothing in the game that tells you how you have to deal with him. There might be something in the manual. I don't know, but if not, it's a difficult one to understand what to do. which we will see hopefully very shortly. Although at this rate, I'm going to die before we get in. There we go. Alright. Now let's go in. Usually I have full life going in, but oh well. So we're going to do a couple of things. Before the fight starts, we're going to cast Shield, we're going to cast Jump, and we're going to cast Reflect. All of those help. Now we're going to be ready to cast our next spell, but we are not going to do it until Thunderbird is fully on screen, because Thunderbird cannot be damaged until you have cast the Thunder spell. Now, we have to basically hit that little gem above Thunderbird's head. I don't know if technically you're supposed to hit the face or not, but it seems like really it has to be the gem. These little fireballs floating down aren't all that difficult to avoid, and if you cast Reflect, then you can block them with your shield, which makes dealing with the Thunderbird a lot easier than when you don't cast it. And of course, Jump makes things much easier when you can actually reach the enemy. Otherwise, he's not really in range quite as often. Oh, I should have been paying attention. There we go. Now, we have one final enemy left to face, but I don't really want to face that enemy with such low health. So, we're going to come back out here, and we're going to collect our second, hopefully, red potion. Or not. Oh, well, that's fine. There is, you can just know that that's there. We don't need to bother dealing with that this time, obviously, but usually you're able to essentially refill your health and magic by grabbing that one as well. And finally, we're going to advance forward, and we will face Dark Link. So in here is the Sage of the Great Temple, and the Sage will provide us with one final test, which will be to deal with our, negative self, I suppose. There's absolutely no reason to do this, but sometimes I like to cast fire just because I think it's amusing, and because Dark Link can't do it. So here's the Sage. I don't know if the Sage uses the power of the Triforce of Wisdom to create our Dark Self, or it just happens. I'm not sure. Now, there is a very commonly talked about way to kind of cheese this boss, where you just sort of hide in the corner and crouch and attack it, and that works very well. You don't necessarily have to do it. You can try doing this, which is essentially just to be extremely aggressive, and you should start hitting Dark Link, when he jumps, either jumping or landing his jumps. Usually have pretty good success. Plus, if you have full magic here and you have the ability to shield yourself and heal yourself, you should pretty much always be able to win this fight doing just this. I may, if this kind of drags on for a bit, just go and crouch in the corner and cheese, but it's, like I said, it's not necessary. It just is kind of a well-known thing that people do. You can see I'm not really taking much damage from him, and things are going relatively well, albeit slowly. So let's just kind of wait till he jumps over us, and then we'll show that kind of cheesing method. Alright, so yeah, you can just sit here in the corner, don't move anywhere, and you're largely unbeatable as long as he doesn't jump on your head. But yeah, this is the easy way to do it. Let's get a couple more hits, and we're done. And that is the game. Sage presents us with the Triforce of Wisdom, which goes along with the Triforce of Power that we collected in the first game, and the I think this is actually the Triforce of Courage. We collected the Triforce of Wisdom in the first game. We collected Power when we killed Ganon. This was the Triforce of Courage that is normally associated with Link. That's right. Sorry, I misspoke before. So we awoke the original Princess Zelda from 1,000 years ago. We saved Hyrule and are a real hero. curtain falls. And who knows? Maybe Link actually got his kiss there. Stay here and watch the credits, and then there's one last quick thing to show. This will almost certainly be the last Zelda game I do, at least for a while. I really don't intend to do very many longer games, you know, more recent games. I'm certainly not planning on doing like Ocarina of Time or anything, because anything I do, I like to essentially do 100%, and they're just too long. It's not the kind of thing that I want to do games of or plays of. So, all right, we will hit start, and yes, you can replay, but you go back to the very beginning of the game, but you get to keep your levels. That's the only real difference. You know, you don't have any of your items anymore, or any of the extra lives or anything, but you just get to have all the spells that you had. And you have your full levels. So there's not a lot of, you know, benefit to it. Oh, that's right, I forgot you keep down thrust. So, you know, it's just a little fun thing you can do at the end. There's not a lot of, you know, crazy benefit to it, but just a small little thing you can do if you want to get one more run through the game with a little more abilities on your side. But it's not like the original game where there's a whole second quest. However, I think we will end things there, and when we come back, I don't know, we'll see what's coming up next. But till then, see ya.